She's the Deputy Prime Minister of Ukraine. Great to have you back. Thank you, Olga. I want to focus in a little bit now on Mariupol. So many war crimes seem to have been committed in Mariupol. I know this is near and dear to your heart. Tell us what you know and what you think, and give us a little bit of color of what you're thinking as Deputy Prime Minister.
I would start by saying that a part of Mariupol, there's 80 more towns which faced the humanitarian disaster and being under control of the Russian Federation without any access to food, water, or any other needs. Mariupol, to some extent, for Russian Federation is the forepost of the Donetsk region, and they purposefully do it as a showcase for the humanitarian catastrophe and disaster. Luckily, most of the people who's been in a bomb shelter in the drama theater in Mariupol, which has been bombed yesterday, survived. But it is very clear to understand, it should be clear, that the purpose of this attack was also to destroy the bomb shell, because the bomb which was shelled is 3 times bigger than it is the average used in Ukraine. So the purpose was the kids, the people there, and it was a targeted attack just 2 hours after the International Court of Justice decision who has obliged Russia to suspend Russian military operation and withdraw its forces and refrain from any military aggression. So it's really important to understand that for the last 12 days, when Russia failed to resist with the Ukrainian army, they started the targeted attack over civilian population. It is nothing but a genocide. It is nothing but a parallel with the Second World War and a Nazi regime, which is now being inspired by Putin.
Yeah, and he actually claimed that there were Ukrainians that were the Nazis. He's projecting, I guess. But talk to us a little bit about it. It took our president, United States President Joe Biden, 3 weeks to admit that Putin is a war criminal. And then the White House today, that was yesterday, then the White House today cleaned it up, saying, well, that's Biden's personal opinion, not the official position of the United States president. One leader of a country of Ukraine being attacked to a leader of the United States. What's your message to Joe Biden about his inability to officially call Putin a war criminal from his office?
I feel no fear in making these statements, because it is already confirmed, and this is something Ukraine claims in a Hague tribunal, and also which is already fixed by multiple violations of humanitarian law by purposeful murder of civilians, which is the war crimes absolutely directed and inspired by Putin. It's already fixed in the UN system and by International Red Cross. So it's not like a political statement. It's already a fact confirmed by the whole world. The question is what we do with knowing it and confirming it. Ukraine resists, Ukrainians resist, and we're waiting for the whole world to show the same resistance. Sanctions is really important. It puts pressure to Russia, to inner circle of Kremlin. But knowing that dozens and thousands of civilians has been murdered, no-fly zone is something which is essential, because the responsibility of each civilian death is now shared by everybody who's not taking this decision.
So, okay, Olga, I want to get to one more city that I think is really relevant. Obviously, Kyiv needs to hold it down. Your government is in Kyiv, but Odessa seems to me, as an outside observer, is a very, very important city strategically, because if the Russians, and they are creeping north of Odessa, that map may not actually even show the distance. Some of the Russians have gone even further north and west, almost getting close to circling Odessa. If Odessa is taken by the Russians, they'll have access to the Black Sea and possibly some amphibious landings there. Tell us what the status of Odessa is, please.
So far, Odessa is resisting, and basically, I can confirm that Russia has failed in all of its plans since the very beginning of this aggression, because they thought that they will capture Kyiv in 2 days, and another cities in the southern part of Ukraine, like Mykolaiv, but Mykolaiv resisted, and they threw back Russian forces apart from the city. The same goes to Odessa, and our army has shown so much surprises to Russian armed forces that even the battalions of the Navy officers refused to go and attack Odessa. So this is something which is happening right now. We understand the plans of Putin. He plays on his playbook, which is very obvious to everybody. But while we're resisting on the land, it's really important that the European leaders and American leaders do not pretend basically that this is a war somewhere far from their houses. This is a war which is already in their houses, in all of your houses, because this is a war not against Ukraine. This is a war against the world.
You know, Olga, I think you guys, your president made the point, and you all have. We've had Ukrainian parliamentarians on here. It's not just a fight for Ukraine. It's a fight for democracy and a fight for freedom. It's something we should all consider. Olga, Stefanishyna, please stay safe, and we'll bring you back again soon. Thank you for your time.
Слава Україні!